ahead and make some kind of comment there so that we know that you're with us. It's going to be an awesome morning. Glad you decided to spend a few moments with us. If you want to find out more about how to connect, we try to make that as easy as we can. thegrovechurch.org/connect, or if you want to worship through giving, thegrovechurch.org/give, I believe. Hey, this is Memorial Weekend, and I just want to encourage us to think a little bit deeply about those that we know, connected to the people who have sacrificed so much. My grandfather told me a story a few years ago that's always stuck with me about when he was returning and all the soldiers were on the boat and it was approaching the shore and it was real foggy, and he said that there was a buoy out in the water and there was some sort of sign or something on the buoy, and so all of them came up and hanging over the rail, just kind of squinting to see if they could make out what was on the sign. And when they got close enough, and he said we were almost on top of it when we could see it, it said "Welcome home." And he said that everybody just started to weep, and I realized, just seeing the emotion in his eyes, that I didn't even have a reference point for the sacrifices that have been made for my freedom and what that means. So if you've got somebody that's in the room with you right now, that or somebody in your circle that you might drop a text to this weekend and just say thanks, because it's incredible what's been done for us. So, all right, well, this is an awesome morning. We're switching to a new series. We're going to be talking about some parables. Charlie will be with us. The band is going to lead us. So, Cass, let's get this party started. All right.
The breath you exhale, sustaining me. And before I call, you know my need. You're always going before me. And I'm confident your faithfulness will see me through, and my soul can rest, my righteousness is found in you. With every moment left, and with every borrowed breath, let this be true, that all my heart for all my life belongs to you. Your laughter scatters my enemies. You give me joy for my morning, and I lift my head so I can see all of heaven surrounding me. And I'm confident your faithfulness will see me through, and my soul can rest, my righteousness is found in you. With every moment left, and in every borrowed breath, let this be true, this battle with the strength of my own hands, 'cause you're the mountain mover and only you can. And I won't build my life on sinking sand, 'cause you're my home forever, the rock where I stand. And I won't win this battle with the strength of my own hands, 'cause you're the mountain mover and only you can. And I won't build my life on the sinking sand, 'cause you're my hope forever, the rock where I stand. Oh, the rock where I stand. Faithfulness will see me through. My soul can rest, my righteousness is found in you. And that all my heart for all my life belongs to you. Oh, belongs to you. It belongs to you. Oh, it belongs. Oh, it belongs to you. Yeah, it belongs. Yeah, it belongs to you. For I'm yours and you are mine, and we belong. To you. Your love has ravished my heart and taken me over, taken me over. And all I want is to be with you forever, with you forever. So pull me a little closer and take me a little deeper. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. Wanna know you. taking me over, taking me over. And all I want is to be with you forever, with you forever. So pull me a little closer and take me a little deeper. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. So pull me a little closer and take me a little deeper. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. Oh, so pull me a little closer to you, Lord. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Whoa, whoa, how great your love is for me. Whoa, whoa, how great is your love. Yeah. How great is your love. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. How great is your love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How great is your love. Your love. Oh, how great is your love. Your love, your love. How great is your love. Your love, your love. How great is your love. So pull me a little closer, take me a little deeper. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart. I want to know your heart, Lord. Your heart. Lord, I ask during these crazy times that we would still want to know your heart. and to know that the ways that you're working in our lives are for our benefit. It's for our good, because you are good. You know, several of the verses I've been reading lately have all been pointing back to the trials that we go through, and to know that it seems going against the grain when we go through these trials, and to believe and to have faith that you are still a good and mighty and trustworthy God, and to know that you have a greater purpose. And it's so hard for us humans to believe that, but it's true. And so I ask that you increase our faith to know that you are a good God, that you are everlasting, you are unchanging, unfailing, and we can trust you. Bottom line, we can trust you. We love you, Jesus, and we will continue to praise your name and your name alone. It's in your name I pray and I ask these things. Amen.
Hey, good morning. And good morning to you guys. I was looking at the camera, but good morning to you guys too. I'm Charlie. If you're new and you're watching with us, man, we're really glad that you guys are here with us in the room. We're glad that you guys are here with us watching, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it a little bit later. It's been a crazy week. I want to show you something real quick. I just want to show you this because I think it's really cool, right? Little Grove Church logo right there. We took some of the old T-shirts and we took them to a little business right across the street from us, Personally Yours, and they turned them into masks for us, which was really, really cool. And I don't know if you saw, I mean, we made some T-shirts for the band or the tech team that had been around for the last few weeks. Did a local business for that. I don't know if you guys have been doing this, but I think it's really important just figuring out in this time, just like little small ways like that you can just kind of support and help the community. And just investing in small businesses like that's a great idea. Another one is, and this kind of came to my mind this week, is that I was thinking like it would be really good. I mean, like we've had a lot of focus over the last couple of weeks just trying to figure out this plan of kind of putting this together, and then over the last 10 weeks of just trying to make Sundays work. And I think we have done. I know our small group leaders have, and a lot of people have. We've done a really good job of just kind of checking on each other. But I just want us to maybe just even think of other ways, new ways, more creative ways that we can do that. And an idea I had was maybe just pick a day, every day this week, and go through the contacts on your phone and just reach out to somebody that you haven't heard from in a while. Because my heart has really been just lately just about that there are people out there that are drifting, and we may not even know it. And we've tried really hard to ask people, hey, if you need anything, please let us know. If you're struggling with anything, let us know. And I feel this a little bit. I feel like we're having a hard time pushing through the I'm fine. I think in part because a lot of people are thinking about the people who this is affecting the worst. And because they're thinking about that, well, I'm not as bad as that, and so I'm fine. And so I just want us to do a really good job with the people that God has put in our lives to make sure that we're pushing past I'm fine and making sure that people out there are doing well, are getting connected, and are staying connected with God, and anything we can do to encourage or help them. So I just encourage you, everybody, to be a part of that this week. And quick announcement as far as kind of where we're going from here, as far as this move that we made today to have a few people in the room. It was in accordance with the guidance that the governor and the Secretary of Health have put out there. And it's been important for us as we've been kind of making decisions all along, and we will continue to as long as there are any issues. It's kind of been a combination of the guidance that the governor and the Secretary of Health have put out there, and with kind of what we feel like we can handle, and also a combination of kind of the feel of kind of the congregation. And so we got a lot of feedback that there are people that were really wanting to be a part and come back. So we opened it up for today, and we've talked about that in the future we might go to 2 services, but based on kind of some information that's out there with the governor's talking about, and then again the response, there were a lot of people that said that they wanted to come, but I also just have been able to sense just a little, just even still some hesitancy. So what we're going to do is we're not going reverse, we're just going to put it on pause, and for the foreseeable future we're just going to keep it at 1 service. And so we'll have the opportunity again this next week for 50 people to be a part of this service. And I heard from a lot of people, and it really was kind of made me happy. Heard from a lot of people that they decided not to sign up because I made the reference last week, I guess, about Hannah Montana tickets, right? And that you're just kind of like there's be this mad dash, and no one wanted to really be a part of the mad dash, or at least very few people did. And it was really cool. It's like I wanted to wait for other people, and that's really special, and I appreciate that heart. And we want to continue to serve you guys that are watching online. We're going to continue to do that for as long as there's any fear and anxiety out there. So we'll continue this with 1 service. Mark will follow up again at the end of the service. So we'll have, again, the availability to sign up, thegrovechurch.org/connect. So today, like Mark said, we are starting a new series on parables. And parable is one of those words, and we talk about this sometimes at a church, is like there's just kind of these Bible words out there that don't mean anything. And if you had asked me growing up what a parable was, and my guess is if I were to ask you what a parable was, is that most of us probably would give the answer, it's a Jesus story. It's a story that Jesus told. It's almost like for me it was just this special category of stories that Jesus told. Like you might as well have just called it Jesus' story. But a parable is something specific, and so it kind of, like when you think about something that's a myth typically has an historical element to it, but is very likely not true, like Greek mythology, not true. George Washington chopping down a cherry tree, maybe at some point he chopped down a cherry tree, but the point of it's not that it's true, but it's a mythical story about our past that's meant to communicate something about our history or who we are or the people, right? A fable, like if you think about a fable, usually it's like a fable has like animals talking, so it's making some point. So like the ant and the grasshopper, and they're storing up for winter, and the grasshopper's not, and the ant's real smart, and the grasshopper dies in the winter, which is really sad, I guess. But we tell stories like there's way worse stories out there than that, like the wolf, the Red Riding Hood. But that's not. That's something else. Anyways. It's been a rough day. Can I say that? I meant to say this. I'm going to take a little pause here. It's been a crazy morning. Like, we've been trying to do this. And I want to give just an incredible shout out to our band, to our production team, to our sound team. It's infinitely more complicated, apparently, at least it was in my brain. It's like, hey, we could also have a few people in the room. And it was infinitely more complicated to make that happen and continue to stream than I thought. And so they've just done some incredible work on that. And you may not even realize this, but our internet is down here at the church, this was not the day for that. And some of you who are watching online are thinking, how can the internet be down and we're still watching this online? And the only explanation I have for it is magic. And we just have the right people with some incredible resources and thanks. And so as such, you can expect me to 30% mentally be here with you today. It's been a crazy morning. So the difference, a fable, you got the animals talking, but again, it's to communicate some point. With the ant and the grasshopper, it's about, you should work hard and save and don't be lazy. And, a parable is like that, except that it's realistic. And so we'll call it this, like a parable is a realistic fable. So it's communicating some moral point, some religious point, but there's not ants and grasshoppers talking. There often is like, it's like this, and it's something that you connect with. Oh, there was this man, and he did this, and it's something that you can imagine that has happened or it has happened before in some way, right? And so it's a realistic fable. So it's a story, has a really realistic component to it. and it's meant to commute some personal, spiritual, religious, moral truth. And one of the things unique to many of Jesus' parables, and we'll see some of this over the next few weeks, is that it seems like sometimes they're intentionally confusing. It's like he's wanting us to work a little bit hard to figure out what he's talking about. And I think there's a purpose in that, and he's really just trying to draw us in. He's not wanting to just kind of put it just right out there, but to kind of draw us in, to make us think. I mean, when you analyze a parable, you have to put in a little bit work. But we're not going to have to put in a whole lot of work today, because this is one of the couple of parables that Jesus told where he just fully explained it. So we'll start easy and work our way towards difficult. So we're going to be in Matthew chapter 13 today, and this is called the parable of the sower. Matthew chapter 13, starting verse 1. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear. Now, hopefully, you can imagine what it would be like to just hear Jesus, who you're trying to learn from, you're trying to learn about God, and he's like, man, I got this story for you. There was this farmer, and he went outside, and he was just kind of throwing seed everywhere. He wasn't necessarily on this. There was still a bunch of rocks, and it wasn't able to take root, and so those died. And there was places where thorns, they kind of grew, but then they got choked out. But the seeds that he threw on the good soil, they just turned into great plants. And you're like, that is the worst story ever. We're an agrarian society. We understand how farming works. Thanks for that story. We understand that seed on good soil is the only thing that produces crops. Like that, there's not anything there. But I read it to you, and if you've heard that, you're like, yeah, man, I really like that parable. That's good stuff. It's not good stuff. It's incredibly weird and confusing. It doesn't really say. It doesn't say. And his disciples essentially say as much. They say, what? And so he says, Jesus explains a little bit about why it is that he speaks in parables sometimes, and he finally does. He says, I'm going to give you the explanation. Matthew chapter 13 again, moving ahead to verse 18. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown among the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop, yielding 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. And so Jesus makes it abundantly clear. It's like, okay, so imagine then that the sower, it's God, and the seed is the word, the things that we're supposed to believe, the ways that we can connect and